What's going on, everybody? Kevin here. Just wanted to come on and hop on and give you guys a update on crypto and Bitcoin, and we are going into the new week, so it's time that we just make a quick video to kind of give you guys my thoughts on what I think we can see this week. This week's going to be a pretty important week. We got some macroeconomic data coming down the pipeline via the JOLT report and the core PCE. Which is the Fed's preferred measure to track inflation data. But I really kind of wanted to dive into the charts also, right? And kind of inspect the move that we just had and kind of see like what we can expect this week in terms of the price action also. So as you can see, we did have our major correctional phase that we went through that we tracked very well. We did see our double bottom here at the lows. Which we did call, which was very positive, right? We were able to ride this move up from the very lows, which is great. That's talking about some spot plays and even some leverage plays. But now, as you can see, Bitcoin is kind of stalled out here. We are at the golden pocket, and also we are at a large volume node and also the point of control. So as you can see, there's a lot of confluence here of resistance. Again, we have that golden pocket in between 94,410 and 95,581. We have this very large volume node here to the right, as you can see. And this is also the point of control, right? So this whole range that we've been in for a very long time now, right? This is where most of the volume has been traded in. So naturally, Bitcoin is going to find some resistance here, especially after seeing a pretty sizable move to the upside, right? We've pretty much been almost straight up for about 30%, right? So that's a really, really good size move for Bitcoin. Bitcoin hasn't seen really any pullback in this entire move higher, right? So what I'm thinking here is, from a short-term time frame perspective, it is possible that we potentially get a pullback, right? To kind of just reset things on the smaller time frames. Some levels that I would look at are, if we just pull up some of our key moving averages, would be, it looks like we do have some good confluence in this 90K to, 88K area, right? So anywhere from 88 to 90K, I think we would want to find major support in that range if we did pull back there, which that's a pretty big move down. Actually, I think that would probably get a lot of people fearful. Talking about a 3.5%, 4%, 4.5% move down. That's enough to really get people kind of shaky. It's very highly likely that a lot of people are flooding in at this little golden pocket area. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if we kind of just get a little liquidity grab to the downside before starting to head higher again. If we pull up the 4-hour time frame, you can kind of see that Bitcoin's doing really good. Like I said, we got that very nice double bottom here at major support. Now we are again, right? We're seeing that resistance at the golden pocket, right? Our key moving averages are way below us though, which just goes to show that this was a really strong move to the upside, right? When we broke out above this inverse head and shoulders that I was tracking, right? If you follow me on X, or if you're in the Patreon, you know that we were tracking this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and we were bullish on this, right? We knew that there was a high probability that this was going to break out to the upside, and let alone it did. It has not quite reached the target yet. I mean, it really kind of came close, right? I mean, look at that. And the target was around 96,000, and we went to 95.8. I think on some exchanges we even hit 96K. So this inverse head and shoulders has played out, right? So that's another reason that could potentially support maybe a short-term little move down to correct. So again, key areas would be the 0.5 fib at 90K. We have all of our 4-hour moving averages to the downside, which is bullish. Very good. That's what we want to see. And then obviously on the daily time frame, we do have our 200-day moving average, our 100 EMA, which is what I would really be looking for to hold as support if we were to pull back here, which I think it's a little probable at this point. It's probably more likely just to kind of cool off, right? We would like to cool things off. You don't want to just go straight up. Cooling off, there's nothing wrong with that. It's actually healthy, creates healthy market structure. And when I say pullback, this could be like maybe a couple day thing, right? This might not even be a long thing, right? So I do think the higher time frames are flipping bullish on Bitcoin, but I did want to kind of zoom in just to kind of get a good idea of what we're looking at here. That is that there is some confluence at resistance that we want to watch out for. So something else that I kind of want to look at is we do have this weird little CME gap, right? Also, for more confluence, we have this little CME gap down at 91,600. So that's something that we could potentially go and fill, right? This will likely fill at some point, as the CME gaps do fill 90+% of the time. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Also, that's just more confluence down in that, 91 to 88K range that I'm eyeing. So again, right? If you're holding your longs from the lows, like your spot longs, you're kind of just chilling here. Like, that's where we were accumulating in the Patreon, right? We were accumulating really heavily down here. A lot of those spot long plays on altcoins are up anywhere from 12 to 20%. Some profits have already been taken on those, and stop losses are at break even. So we're kind of just chilling now, right? We're really no reason to do anything. You can put in a hedge short here too if you wanted to. Like if you're long from the lows and you want some exposure to the downside, I see really no issue to not maybe put in a small short position, just a hedge, right? If we get that downside, if we get a little pullback, then right, you're making some gains on the way down while you're still long from the lows. So hedging is very valuable. I highly recommend it. If learning about it, is if you're not familiar with how that works. Beyond that, let's just take a look at USDT dominance. USDT dominance is also at the bull market support band and the 200 EMA on the daily, right? So I kind of called this out also on, I think, X and in the Patreon, that just gotta keep an eye here, right? USDT dominance is probably a little bit oversold. Hitting major support, bull market support band, 200 EMA on the daily. We're still below that macro 382, but maybe we get a little move up here, kind of fill this candle, this big candle here. If you take a look at some of the 4-hour indicators on USDT dominance, you can see that yes, it has held bull market support band for now. Money flow is kind of trying to increase, but still very negative, which is good for crypto. It means that, and this is what I'm expecting, right? I'm expecting that if we get a pullback on Bitcoin, it'll be short-lived. We will make a higher low, and we will end up heading higher. This money flow on USDT dominance supports that. It's very negative, meaning that any bounce to the upside will be short-lived on USDT dominance, and it'll eventually roll over and head lower. So, yep, we got, MACD's looking pretty decent, but not really anything crazy in terms of expansion on momentum to the upside for USDT dominance. So overall, I kind of expect maybe this to get up to the 0 line, maybe up here somewhere by the end of day, Tuesday. It'll probably start to roll over and Bitcoin will probably start heading higher again. Yeah, we're in that mode now, right? Like I'm feeling that on the higher time frames, things are looking really good for Bitcoin. We'll kind of take a look real quick at my reversal zone chart that we've had now for a long time. It's just we have this area to contend with, right? We do have that 3-day MACD cross, and we do have building momentum to the upside, which is what we want to see. I talked about this in my last video. You want to see expansion of the moving averages, not just a cross, right? You want to see momentum expand. That means that price is expanding, right? It's called expansion, right? Contraction and expansion. But yeah, like I said, right, we get this really nice move up and we're just hitting that golden pocket. We're hitting that volume node. We're hitting some areas of confluence. So maybe we just kind of consolidate at this level for a little bit. Maybe we get a little bit of a pullback. At the end of the day, I don't really think it matters too much. I think that crypto is going to be, I think Bitcoin in particular, and probably altcoins too, are going to start to head even higher soon. This is also something very positive that we want to look at, is Bitcoin is going to close a weekly candle here We have 25 minutes until the weekly close. That candle is going to close above the bull market support band. So very, very positive, right? Now I want to show you guys something real quick too. Something that caught my eye about closing above the bull market support band is the last couple times we fell below the bull market support band and then closed a weekly candle above it, you see that we get these drops before then heading higher again. So sometimes Bitcoin, this cycle in particular, likes to get its head back above the bull market support band and then kind of fake people out. As you can see, that happened right here where we got up. We didn't do anything for 1 week and then we fell below it. Then we got back up it again, fell below it again. Then we got back up it again, above it again, held it as support the next week on a pullback, and then we held higher. All right. Kind of similar here. We came down to the bull market support band, held it, got a bounce, fell below it. Then once we broke through, we had that nice move higher. Right. So we kind of broke through it here on this candle, came back and back tested it for 2 weeks, and then headed higher. So it's just kind of this little thing that Bitcoin's been doing. Just so we'll keep an eye on it, right? We'll see if it does that again. I don't know if it's going to or not, but just something I noticed, right? Beyond that, though, I think that everything is looking good. Our plans are going exactly according to plan, right? This chart looks really good right now. Right? We'll kind of zoom in on this again so you can see. All we need to do is just beat this little area right here, right? This 97K to 94K level, and it's off to the races for Bitcoin. I think it'll definitely end up probably making a new all-time high if we can break through this area here. Even this 100K, like, just get through this golden pocket, get through the 703 and get through the 786. Just plow through it, right? If we need to get a pullback first to the 91 to 88K level, fine, no big deal. Go down there, reset the indicators, get some positive macro data, and then just kapoof, right? Just start heading higher again. I do want to just take a look at the weekly macroeconomic data that we have coming out. We do have the JOLTS report on Tuesday, right? So the JOLTS report, keep an eye on that. I don't think it's going to be a major market mover, but we'll watch it anyways. But the big report comes on the, where is it? The 30, where are you? There it is, on the 30th. This is a big one. So April 30th, which is Wednesday, we have the core PCE price index. Okay, so this is going to be the Fed's preferred measure of tracking inflation. Let's take a look at the details on that. Looks like the current forecast is 0.1%. The previous was 0.4%, so they're expecting a move down, which that's positive, right? That's what we want to see. Like I've been saying, I do believe inflation is coming down, and I do believe it's coming down fast, and that is because the Trueflation data has held steady between 1.3 and 1.5% now for 3-4 months. So it's only a matter of time before the Bureau of Labor Statistics catch up to that data. So this is going to be potentially a catalyst for Bitcoin to head higher. So think of it like this, right? We have core PCE price index on Wednesday. I believe that's going to come in positive for the markets. And let's just hypothetically say that maybe over the next couple days, Monday and Tuesday, we either consolidate or maybe even pull back. And then Wednesday, when that report comes out, let's say all of our 4-hour indicators, smaller time frame indicators are reset, money flow is still strong, we get a positive core PCE, and then boom, that's our catalyst to start heading higher. Because let me tell you something, if we get a positive core PCE index number and it's much lower than expected, and the market is going to start sniffing out rate cuts coming by the Fed. The market's already pricing in rate cuts, but if they get that good inflation data, they're really going to start pricing in easing, right? Easing by the Fed, which is what really drives these crypto markets. At least it has this cycle, right? The Bitcoin, altcoins have been very much driven off of the macro. It's so evident, it's so obvious. That we've compared that and made that very clear over the last couple of years. But beyond that, that's what I'm looking at, guys. So big week ahead, right? Bitcoin's looking strong. Maybe we get a small pullback here in the short term. Maybe we just consolidate. We got the core PCE on Wednesday. I think it's going to be a good report. I think Bitcoin, if it is a good report, Bitcoin will have the opportunity to then continue this rally higher. Higher time frame indicators are flipping bullish. We are also about to get a 2-week close where I'm going to see the stock RSI on the 2-week time frame for USDT dominance flip bearish, right? And you can, as you can see, right, on a larger time frame here, you can see this descending triangle pattern forming on USDT dominance. My expectation is that this 2-week stock RSI cross to the downside should bring us back down to that 3.70% level. And then we'll see from there, right? We will see what happens from there. Can we finally break the 3.70% level that we have not been able to break this entire cycle? So that will be the big one. But overall, short term, don't worry about the noise, ignore it. We get a pullback, everyone's going to panic. I would say just kind of relax, especially if you're in from the lows. And higher time frames are flipping bullish. Every day they become more bullish. So as long as we get the positive macro data and we get money flow, right? Positive macro data and the money flow, which I will be tracking both, then I expect Bitcoin to head higher. So that'll be big, right? That's what we need, and that's what I'll be looking for. So appreciate you guys tuning into the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're looking to join the Patreon, the link will be in the description below. And also, my link to BitUnex will also be in the description below. So if you're looking for an exchange that you can sign up for with no VPN, no KYC required, BitUnex is the exchange for you. So beyond that, if you guys have any questions, you can leave comments below, or you could just reach out to me. Beyond that, you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you later. Peace.